to today's live stream. You can hear me and hear me loud and clear. Also, confirm you can see my screen. You can see my screen. Confirm you can hear me loud and clear. Welcome to the question. Before we can comment, please drop a comment if you can hear me loud and clear. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, I want to believe you can hear me loud and clear and you can see my screen. Once again, I want to welcome you to today's live stream. Today is 25th of November 2025. So we'll start by looking at the calendar for today. Today is 25th, and by 2:30, the United States will be releasing four major news. Four major news will be released from the United States. So we have core PPI, that is production price index. We have core retail sales. We have PPI, and we have retail sales. These are the four major news that will be released from the United States today by 2:30 p.m. And you can see we have the previous value for core PPI to be negative 0.1, and the forecast value is 0.2. So they are expecting an increase. This is an increase from negative to positive. So if the actual comes out positive, if the actual is higher than the forecast, we should expect more buys on dollar. Okay, we should expect more buys on dollar. Dollar will be bullish if the actual is higher than the forecast. And for core retail sales too, the previous was 0.7%, and the forecast is 0.3%. So they're expecting a drop from 0.7 to 0.3%. If the actual is higher than the forecast, that will be positive for dollar. If it is less than the forecast, that will be negative for the dollar. And PPI we have the previous was negative 0.1, and the forecast is 0.3%. So they are expecting an increase from negative to positive 0.3%. And retail sales, the previous was 0.6%. The forecast is 0.4%. So they're expecting a drop, a decrease from 0.6% to 0.4%. So we'll wait for the actual value, which will be released by 2:30 p.m. So that is all the major news for today's market. So let's go straight to the chart. So we'll start by analyzing DXY to know the strength of the dollar. . Okay, so let's start with the daily time frame. I shared this with you guys yesterday that dollar will be bearish if yesterday candle closes bearish because we've had two candlestick pattern indicating change in trend from bullish to bearish. We had the spining top, two spining top. Okay, this was on Friday, this was on Thursday, and you can see that the highs of this candle was used to sweep the liquidity residing at this previous high, and also price is currently at a premium area. And I told you guys you should expect a retracement to a discount on DXY. Okay, so what you need to do here is apply your Fibonacci from this swing low to this swing high. Okay, so I would love to see DXY pull back to a discount which would be below Fibonacci level 50. Okay, I would love to see price pull to a discount area. Okay, so I'll be looking for buy opportunity dollar index below level 50. So right now I'm bearish on the dollar. I am bearish on the dollar right now. I am bearish on the dollar right now. Now, because of the news that will be released by 2:30, I'm not taking any trade. I'm not taking any trade now until the news is released. That is my plan for today. I'm not taking any trade until the news is released. Technically, dollar is supposed to be bearish, but if the news comes out positive for the dollar, we could see dollar breakouts from these highs. Okay, dollar could break out from these highs if the news is positive for the dollar. Okay, so I want to patiently wait for the news to release before I take a trade. Okay, so that's my take for the dollar. Good morning, victory. That's my take for the dollar. I am bearish for the dollar. So let's look at yen basket. Yen basket, I said it yesterday that yen is bullish. Yen is bullish at the moment. And if yen is bullish at the moment, it means we should look for sell opportunity on JPY pairs. Okay, we should look for sell opportunity on JPY pairs. So far today, yen has been bullish. I think this retracement in the market yesterday was to fill a fair value that was there at this point. Reason for this sell. See for us. Good morning, Daniel. Good morning. You have any question? Let me know in the comment section. Please bear with me. I think the network is not stable. Just me. The network is not stable. It will get better. Just patient. see this came to fail with fair value gap. There was a strong rejection from the gap. This fair value at this point. I think so. We had the price. So the value gap. Let's see. How is it now? How is the network now? Is it okay? Can you guys hear me clearly? Can you guys hear me clearly? Can you guys hear me clearly? Can you hear me clearly? Just bear with me. I'm trying to fix the network. Can you guys hear me now? Is it better now? Better now. Can you guys hear me now? Okay, so on yen, like I said, price has pulled back to fill this fair value gap at this point, and there was a strong rejection from that zone. So let's go down to 1 hour and see if a fair value gap was created at this point. Okay, let's see 15 minutes time frame. Let's see 15 minutes time frame. Okay, 15 minutes no fair value gap at this point. I'm sure there's a fair value gap at this point. There is a fair value gap at this point. Let's confirm. At this point, there's a fair value gap on 5 minutes or 1 minute time frame. No fair value gap on 15 minutes. Okay, we have this fair value gap here. No fair value gap here. Let's see 1 minute. If there's a fair value gap, let's see 1 minute. That could be the reason for the retracement. I just want to be sure. I want to confirm. There's a reason for this pullback we're seeing on the basket. Let's see. Okay, so you can see this fair value gap on 1 minute. Now you see this fair value gap on 1 minute. This could be the reason for the retracement we're seeing on the chart right now. This fair value gap could be the reason. Okay, this gap has been filled. This gap has been filled, completely filled right now. Okay, so that gap has been filled completely. Can you see? Can you see the gap here? That gap has been filled completely. So what you need to look out for is a bearish reversal pattern on yen. Okay, look at the bearish reversal pattern. If one candle closes below this fair value gap, if one closes below this fair value gap, you should sell yen. You should sell yen if 1 hour candle closes below this fair value gap. This is the low of the fair value gap. Wait for 1 hour candle to close below this level before you consider selling. And if you are selling yen, your target could be this relative equal low. The first target will be this fair value gap. This gap here will be the first target. You can see this fair value gap here. There was an attempt to fill this fair value gap at this point, but the gap was not filled completely. And after the formation of this candle, you can see this is an hammer candle. Most retail traders will buy, and this is where they would have their stop loss. This is where most retail traders will have their stop loss. So I'm sure they're going to come sweep the liquidity residing at this low and also use that opportunity to fill this fair value gap. That's what I see playing out on yen for today's market. That's my take on yen. Look for sales. If you look at the daily and the 4-hour time frame, if you look at the daily time frame, you can see the structure on a daily. You can see it is a bearish structure. It's a bearish structure. If you also apply your trend line, you can see that the trend is bearish. You can see that the trend is bearish. Can you see that? The trend is bearish. Structure is bearish. You can see price has been forming series of lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. This is a bearish structure. So what we are seeing on a daily time frame is just probably price want to test this trend line. But with what I just shared with you guys, I'm not sure price would come test this level. Just wait for price to close, wait for a candle to close below this level before you sell. So it's obvious the structure is bearish. So we look for sell opportunities on yen basket. I hope that is clear. If you have any question, any pair you want me to analyze, let me know in the comment section. Okay, so let's move on to the next pair. Okay, let's start with GBP USD. If you have any currency pair you want me to analyze, let me know in the comment section. Okay, so I'll be using the average strategy that I shared yesterday with you guys. I'm going to use the average strategy, not to complicate things. Okay, I'm going to use the average strategy. Average of yesterday candle. Calculator. If you get the average of year's average, we'll be adding the opening and the closing price of yesterday candle. So the opening 1.3096 plus the closing 1.3104 divide 3. Oh, well, no, should be divide 2. Okay, so multiply by 3, multiply by 3, divide by 2, 1.3100. 1.3100. That's the average. I hope I'm correct here. 1.3100. So that's the average for yesterday. And you can see the market opened above the average today. It's simple. When the market opens above the average, you look for buy. If the market opens below the average, you look for sell. But there are cases that the market will open above the average and the market will sell, and there are cases that the market will open below the average and the market will buy. There are some conditions, there are some things you need to consider. Okay, but most times when the market closes above the average, it will buy. 60% of the time it will buy. Okay, and if it closes below, it will sell. Okay, so you can see that the market opened above, so you can see that it's been bullish. It's been bullish, and most times when the market open above the average, it will first test that average value before it starts moving in that direction. Most times it will test the average value before it starts moving. So if not for the major news that we are expecting today by 2:30, I would have executed this trade. I would have bought the USD, but like I said, I'm not going to execute any trade until the major news is released. So I would love to see price come to retest this level. I would like to see price come to retest this level that I should have entered the trade. So that's my expectation on GBP USD. I want to see a retracement back to this my entry level in New York session by 2:33 p.m. I should see my setup. Okay, I should see my setup. So my bias for GBP USD for today's market is buy. It is buy, and I just shared with you the reasons for my bullish bias. Okay. Okay, so this is let me go back to the daily. Let me show you my target. Okay, so my first target on GU today is this high. Okay, that's my first target, and you can see above this high we have this fair value gap. So that is likely going to be the next draw on liquidity. We have this fair value gap. Okay, that could be the next draw on liquidity. If price breaks from this fair value gap, then we should expect price to come fill this fair value gap. Okay, so if the news comes out negative, if it is negative for the dollar, we should expect massive buy on GBP USD unless they manipulate the prices, unless they manipulate the prices. If the news comes out negative for the dollar, we should expect massive buy on GBP USD, and this is where you should set your target. This is where you should set your target. Okay, so that's my take on GBP USD. GBP USD is buy. It's buy. Same applies for Euro USD. Same applies Euro USD. Let's get the average yesterday candle. So what's the high? The opening 1.1516 plus 1.1520 divided to 1.1518. 1.1518. Okay, so 1.1518, that's the value. And the market opens today at 1.1520. That's 2 pips above the average value. So we should look for buy opportunity. We should look for buy opportunity. As you can see, if you go by candlestick patterns, you can see we had bullish reversal patterns here. On Friday, we had a spinning bottom. Yesterday, we had what looks like an inverted hammer. Yeah, an inverted hammer indicating change in trend from bearish to bullish. And also you can see that price is currently at a discount. Price pulled back to fill this fair value gap. And at the discount, you don't look for sell, you look for buys at discount. Okay, so EU is buy, but I would love to see price retrace back to this level in New York after the news is released before going bullish. So most likely they might want to sweep this liquidity in New York session after the news is released. They might want to come and sweep this low or today's low. Okay, this low, they might want to come and sweep it. That's my expectation. Okay, that's my expectation. So I'll be looking for my setup in New York session. Buy opportunity, buy. Okay, so if you apply your Fibonacci from this swing high to this swing low, I want to see price pull to a premium area. And premium area will be around, your premium will be around this area. This area. If you go down to lower time frame, let's say 4 hour, there should be fair value gaps. Okay. It should have fair value gaps, which should target all these highs. They're going to come for all these highs. Okay. That's my target. So if you even look at 4 hour, if you look at 4 hour time frame, you can see that on Euro USD, you can see has been in a range since last week, Thursday or Friday. You can see that it's been in a range, no clear direction on anything. You can see that, and that's because of the major news that will be released this week. That's why price has been in a range. You can see it's been in a range. So I advise that you patiently wait for those news to be released before you take any trade. Before you take any trade. Okay, that's my advice. Patiently wait for the news to be released. So let's see 1 hour. At this point, a fair value gap has been created on 1 hour or 15 minutes time frame. Let's see. So we had Amaye, right? And it's been buying from this point. This is where one would have entered a buy trade. So if you didn't buy from this point, patiently wait for price to pull back to this level before you buy. That's my advice. Let's see 15 minutes. It must have created a fair value gap here. Let's see 15 minutes. The fair value gap should have been created. Okay. So just wait for price to pull back to apply your Fibonacci from this low to this swing high. Okay. Wait for price to pull back to a distant area before you buy. That's my take. Don't be in a rush to take the trade. Be patient. There's a high probability that price will pull back to this area in New York session. And they might even sweep all these lows. This liquidity is here. They might also sweep this. So patiently wait for price to pull back. Don't rush. Don't rush. Patience. Okay, so that's my take on Euro USD. What other pair do you want me to analyze? Let me know in the comment section. If you have any question, let me know. Okay, so let's see GBPY and gold. GBP and gold. Yes, BJP bearish. You can see that GBP has been bearish, and that's it. That's because I'm sorry for the break. Sorry for the break. Network is very, very unstable. Very unstable. I want to believe you all can hear me now. You can hear me right. Okay, so that's my take on the end basket. Wait for a bearish reversal pattern to form before you buy yen. Okay, wait for a bullish reversal pattern to form before you buy yen. Okay, so let's look at one. That's my take on GJ. Wait for a buy pattern to form on 4-hour time frame. Wait for buy pattern to form on a 4-hour time frame before you buy. I hope that is clear. If you do your average, what's it called? Okay, let's use the average strategy. Let's use the average strategy. So let's get the average of yesterday. The average of yesterday. 204.97 plus 205.64 divide to 205.30. 205 points. That's 30. So that's the average value. No, no. Okay, yeah, it's correct. Let's see. Let me delete this. So you can see the average value for yesterday. You can see the average value for yesterday. Price has pulled back. Remember, I told you when the market opens above the average, there's a high probability it will come retest that average. There's a high probability to come retest that average before it starts buying. Okay, so if a candle closes above this average, that is when you should consider buying. It's either 4-hour candle closes above this average or 1 hour closes above this average, or a bullish reversal pattern forms below this average. That is when you would buy. I hope that is clear. I hope that is clear. Wait for a candle to close above this average or wait for a bullish reversal pattern to form below this average. That is when you should look for buy. Okay, so that's it on GJ. Let's look at gold before we look at EA. Gold. Daily. Daily. So if you calculate the range for gold yesterday, the average for gold yesterday, I think the average is around this value. Okay, the average is around this area. So there is a high probability price will come and test the average. Let's get the average. Let me average. 4064.5 plus 4134.7 divide 3. Oh, by 3 now, by 2. Multiply 3 divide 2. I'm used to pivot points. That's why I'm always using divide 3. To get the pivot point of a candle, you add up the high, low, close of that candle divided by 3. It gives you the pivot. That's also like an average. So I'm used to getting pivot points. That's why I'm always dividing by 3. Okay, so 4099.6. 4099.6. 4099. 40. and 9.6. Okay, so you can see this is the average. This is the average for yesterday candle. And like I said, there's a high probability that price will come and test this average before it goes on bullish. Okay, so you can see now also on the daily time frame, price is currently at a premium area. Okay, price is currently at a premium area, and we have this fair value gap. Price has filled this fair value gap. Okay, so that's the reason rejection we have seen at this point. This fair value gap is the reason for this rejection we are seeing on the daily time frame. So let's go to 4 hour. Okay, so what we have on 4 hour here, you can see it's a bullish reversal pattern. Okay, sorry, bearish. 4 hour is bearish. 4 hour is bearish. Okay, though the trend for today is bullish, and that's because the market is trading above the average value. So you look for buy opportunity. But before buying, I believe price is going to retrace. Price is going to retrace. Okay, probably to come and fill this fair value gap. So I would love to look for my buys at this level or below this level. This is where I'll be looking for my buys. Price to come test this level or go below this level. If it goes below this level, I will look for bullish reversal pattern. If it tests this level and a bullish reversal pattern forms after it tests this level, I will buy gold. I hope that is clear. That's my position on gold. Okay, so I might look for sell on gold. I'm waiting for this candle to close. I'm waiting for this candle. No, I should have sold. I missed this move. I missed this move. This is where I should have entered sell after the formation of this spiny top candle. This is where I should have entered sell. So if price pulls back to this level, I would sell. Okay, if price pulls back to this level that I should have entered the trade, I will sell it, and my target will be the average for today. My target will be the average for today. My stop loss will be the high of this candle. So my risk reward will be like 1 to 2, right? If I'm selling from this point, my target is here and my stop loss is here. That's like risk reward of 1 to 2 point something. So that's my plan for gold. Though the trend is bullish for the day. The trend is bullish for the day, but we might see retracement before the major news. Okay, we might see retracement before the major news. That's my take on gold. So I'm looking for sell opportunity. That is, if price goes back to this my entry level, I would sell gold. So let's see Euro Aussie. That will be the last instrument for today's class. Euro Aussie. Let's start with the daily. This chart looks choppy. This chart looks choppy. Okay, it looks choppy. So if you go by what we have here on 1 hour, last Friday candle closed bearish, and after closing bearish, let's see the pattern we had on 4 hour. Okay, so we had bearish reversal pattern on 4 hour time frame. We had a bearish reversal pattern on 4 hour time frame, and let's see 1 hour. Okay, now we had this fair value gap that was created. We had this fair value gap that was created, and that gap has been filled, as you can see. This fair value gap has been filled, and the market is, you see, reject level. Okay. Now the reason it broke out from this fair value gap here on 1 hour, the reason could be that on 15 minutes there is a fair value gap at this area. After the formation of this shooting star candle, there is a fair value gap on 15 minutes or 5 minutes time frame. That could be the reason for the breakout. Okay, so you can see, I think we have a fair value gap here on 15 minutes time frame. You can see the reason why price broke out from that 1 hour fair value. this fair value gap on 15 minutes. And go down to 5 minutes and 1 minute. There's a high probability there's still a fair value gap after the formation of this shooting star. There's a fair value gap that was created. Let's confirm. Let's confirm. There's a fair value gap that was created at this point. The reason price went above that fair value gap. There's a reason. Let's see. Okay, so you can see what we have here on 5 minutes. If we still go down to 1 minute, I'm sure there's still a fair value gap above at this point. But let's just see where price is at the moment. Let's see. Okay, so you can see that could be the reason. You can see price filled that fair value gap, and the market is currently trading below that fair value gap. So this is a sell setup. This is a sell. Okay, what I see on EA is sell. Sell. That's my take on EA. Look for sell opportunity. So you can see on 4 hour a fair value gap was created here. You can see this on 4 hour. See on 4 hour, and price has pulled back to fill that fair value gap that it's created here. Can you see that on 4 hour? And there's a strong rejection from that fair value gap. Okay, so if a bearish reversal pattern forms on 4 hour or 1 hour time frame, you should look for sell. And you can see there's a fair value gap here that has not been filled on Euro, Australian dollar. This fair value gap has not been filled. Okay, that will be your target. That should be your first target. And if price breaks out from that fair value gap, then you can aim for this. And also we have this fair value gap here. Those should be your targets. You can see those should be your target if you are selling. First target, second target, third target. That's my take on Euro Aussie. That is clear. Any question? Any question? That will be all for today's session. If you have any question or any pair you want me to analyze, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comment section. If you have any question or any pair you want me to analyze, let me know in the comment section. Please give the video a thumbs up if you haven't done that. Give the video a thumbs up, and if it's your first time joining the live stream, please do subscribe to the channel so that anytime I come on live, you get notified by YouTube. Subscribe to the channel so that anytime you get notified YouTube, you don't want to miss the sessions. Any question? Do you have any question? Any question? Any question? Any question? If you're considering trading dollar pairs, I would advise you wait for the news to be released. Wait for the major news to be released, okay? And look for your setup in New York session. So in case there are no more questions, I really want to appreciate every one of you for your participation. Mr. Victory, appreciate participation. Daniel, Ewoma Kesena, thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. Euro JPY, okay. Euro JPY, it's same for Euro JPY and GBPY is the same thing. They are positively correlated, okay. They are positively correlated. Let's see Euro JPY, they are positively correlated. So if you're looking for buy on GJ, then Euro JPY should be bearish too. Let's see. Okay, so this is 4 hour time frame. Price is currently this pullback. The reason for this sell could be this fair value gap. This fair value gap could be the reason. Okay, that could be the reason for. So price is currently at a discount. If you apply a Fibonacci from this swing low to this swing high, price is currently at a discount. You don't sell at a discount. If you had wanted to sell, you would have sold from this point. FOMO that will make you enter this trade at this point. It's FOMO that will make you sell at this point. You should have sold from, let's go to 1 hour. A bearish reversal pattern formed on 1 hour time frame at this point. That's when you should have sold. You can see this should have entered reversal pattern that formed on 1 hour time frame. So if you didn't sell from this point, don't sell from this point unless you're willing to take high risk for low reward. Unless you want to take high risk for low reward. So right now, price is currently at a discount. Okay, so you should look for opportunity to buy. If a candle closes above this fair value gap, then you should buy, and your target should be this draw on liquidity. This draw on liquidity should be your target. This previous high. Okay, that's a fair value gap here at this point. Okay, so that's my take. Wait for a bullish reversal pattern to form, or wait for 1 hour candle to close above this fair value and you buy Euro JPY. That's it for Euro JPY. You cannot sell Euro JPY from the current market price. Price needs to pull back to a premium area. See this fair value, it should come fill this fair value gap before it said that is it wants to sell. So you cannot sell from this point. I hope that is clear. So that'll be all for today's session. I appreciate you for your participation, and I wish you all a profitable trading day. Bye for now.